Hi, I'm John Ruggiero, and welcome to this episode of New Jersey Paranormal. Joining me today is Paranormal Investigator, owner of the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange. You manage events, you do all kinds of fundraisers. Steve Barry, great to have you here. Steve, I've known you for a few years now. I know your background. I know you've been investigating the paranormal for a long time. What's interesting about Steve is that, unlike the rest of us, we wonder about what happens after we pass. Steve actually passed away, died on the operating table, or had a heart attack and passed away.
Passed away in the ambulance.
Passed away in the ambulance. So Steve has a great story. We're going to dive into that. But first, I want to know about your interest in the paranormal in general. When did that start? How did it start?
John, I got involved in paranormal back when I was around 12 years old with my mom. My mom used to do grave rubbings in the cemeteries for the Audubon Society. They used to have a contest who can get the oldest grave rubbing. And we were in a cemetery, and we got a voice that came over. We actually heard it out loud saying, "Get out." So my mom actually packed up when we left. Did
that only happen the one time? Or?
The one time. And that's the
and you heard it
time.
Live?
You heard it live. Yeah, you heard it live. Yeah.
Creepy voice, man or woman, or you couldn't tell?
I wasn't actually a paranormal investigator at that time. I was just out with my mom getting a grave rubbing.
So did that scare you? I mean,
oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So what made you then want to pursue that type of thing? I mean, did you?
I think when we're scared, we always pursue something we're scared, and we always wonder what it is. So that's what got me into it. Yeah.
So then you started a group. How old were you think, when you started that first group?
I probably didn't start going out till I was 16. I went out.
Okay.
I hung out with my mom, but I used to watch all the horror shows and all. So I was always big into sci-fi, scary movies. To this day, I still am.
Did you go in the cemeteries and stuff? I mean, that's how most.
No, I didn't go playing in cemeteries.
I mean, as a paranormal investigator, is that how you got your bones, by going into cemeteries?
No, when I got my driver's license, I actually had a van.
Okay.
So the best place to go and pull around would be actually a cemetery, because no one would go into the cemetery, check it out.
Okay.
So the police wouldn't go there. But yeah, so that's actually when I started getting into it, got involved into it.
Okay.
But I used the old tape recorder. I used to have a old little cassette tape recorder.
And what, just go out there and try to get EVPs and just ask questions?
Yeah, exactly.
So back then, when you first started out, and now I know, again, for me, we all have our own opinions about, and I guess it involves your beliefs, what you believe in, what your religious background is. But for me, the opinion that I've sort of formed over the years is that, we all do believe that we're energy. And my belief is that the soul isn't, most people believe the soul is here in the heart.
Right.
I believe it's here. This is your consciousness in your brain. And I do believe that when it's the body surrounding the consciousness, that when you die, that energy, I don't know where it goes or how it gets there or what happens afterwards, but that's my belief right now, is that I do hope that there is an afterlife and a heaven, but scientifically I do believe that we are energy and that the energy goes somewhere. But I'm not sure of anything, to be honest with you. What was your belief back when you started in the paranormal about what happens when you die?
Well, I was an acolyte back in the church. Back then, so death, you always wonder about death. Everyone's scared of death as you get older, because we start reaching that age point, and then
I'm there now.
Everyone gets, I always had that thought in my head of, God, I'm getting close to 50.
Right.
50 is the range when you have the heart attack, between 50 and 60,
okay,
especially for men. So in that range, I was like, oh, I hope it never happens to me. But my brother had a heart attack in his 40s, so we're only 11 months apart. So I said, oh, it's probably going to happen to me down the road, and it happened.
So, but back then, when you first got into paranormal investigating, what was your opinion then of what happens next?
I figured there was a heaven and a hell.
Okay.
Is what I figured. You're going to go somewhere. And that's the thought I had. The process never came to my mind of what happened. I was so hoping that if you passed away, you'd be reincarnated and come back. That's the thought I always had.
Okay.
So that's how I looked at it.
What about spirits, though? I mean, I've talked to people about past lives and everything. What was your opinion about the spirit world? Were they spirits that sort of kind of zapped in and out, or could they come back and visit, or were some stuck here and some weren't? I mean, what was your opinion as far as?
I figured spirits could travel any way they wanted to.
Whenever they wanted
to. Everyone always uses the spirits, especially during daytime and nighttime. They always think at nighttime they come out. That's the thought we had back then. You didn't really talk about it back then because people thought you were crazy, too.
Right. It's taboo.
So, I didn't really talk about it back then. But my belief is that the soul carries on. Okay. That's what I thought, and I found that out.
Okay. So you were investigating the paranormal for years. You even had your own TV show for a while. Yeah. Let's get into it. That day when you had the heart attack, was there a premonition? Was there anything that you woke up that day and said, today's a little different, or was it
I'll
ordinary?
tell you exactly what happened. Started in 2014, October. My veins in my legs started popping out.
Okay.
And I thought that was really weird. So I went to the hospital, and the hospital told me, you got varicose veins. And I said, at 50 years old, like 52 years old, because I wasn't 53 at the time, I said, I got one popping out here, and then one on this leg, but they were both in the same spot. As I went back, like in November, again, I had more popping out. Like, it looked like I actually had varicose veins. All my veins in my calf started popping out from my kneecap down to my ankle. Okay. And they started hurting. It started really hurting bad. So I went there and said, you got restless leg syndrome. You got varicose veins. 2 hospitals told me this. So finally, one morning I woke up and my heart started beating crazy. It was AFib. Went to AFib. It was going boom, 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 boom. So paramedics came. They put the EKG machine on me, and they said, you're an AFib. So they said, you got to get checked out by a cardiologist. So I go to the cardiologist.
Now, AFib is what? Does that mean?
It's when your heart beats irregular.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it beats crazy.
Okay.
So I end up going for a cath, not cath, what do they call that? Stress test.
Okay.
I do a stress test. I failed the stress test for my EKG going crazy. Okay. But they do an ultrasound. When you run on that treadmill, they lay you right down after you get to a certain number. Your blood pressure goes up to a certain number. They lay you down, they do an ultrasound on your heart. Well, they did that, and the doctor says to me, we're going by your ultrasound, not your EKG. Right. So just go home and take a baby aspirin, and you'll be fine. Okay. That was in January. March 31st, I was actually on the phone with my wife, who is now FaceTiming, and I was showing her when I ran through my house, the veins would go away on my legs. So I was running through my house like a nut, back and forth, jumping over furniture, everything, saying, look, there's no veins popping. So my daughter says, you got to get off the phone, Dad, we're about to eat dinner. Okay. So I said, all right, I get off the phone, and I went to eat. I couldn't eat. So I just couldn't eat. I had chicken. I'll never forget what I had. Chicken, corn, mashed potatoes. And I went to try each one, and I couldn't eat it. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Couldn't eat it as far as what?
My brain just wouldn't accept it.
Oh, that's strange.
With that, I got a pain starting right here in my jaw. Right. And I said, something's weird here. So I got up, and I went to my bedroom, and I see my blood pressure machine. So I hooked it up, because I had that because of the heart condition, the AFib. So I put that on me, and I did my blood pressure. It was 126/74. I said, that's perfect. Right. Well, felt all right, got up, went to walk out back to my living room, and I see baby aspirin on my dresser. And now it's not chewable, it's the solid 325 milligram. So I take one. Something told me to take one, so I just took one. Set it back on my dresser, went out to go eat again. Went to go eat, and now my daughter's gone, she went in her bedroom. So I take a spoonful and I start chewing it, and I couldn't chew. It's like I had to spit it back out. Right. So I got off the table and I sat on the couch. When I sat on the couch, I started getting pressure in my ears. You ever go down into a pool where the water, you go too deep and you get that pressure feeling? Yeah. Imagine that tenfold. So I walked to her bedroom. I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. She goes, Dad, come on. You were just running through the house like a maniac. You're tired. I said, no, I think I'm having a heart attack. She goes, I'm going to call Pam. So she calls Pam. Pam says call 911 immediately. Now, John, it's snowing outside. We got 5 inches of snow already. It's like blizzard whiteout conditions out there. We're in a holler, like a dip, so cell phones don't work really good there. So my daughter gets on the cell phone, and I'm sitting on the couch, and this pressure is, I'm holding my ear. She's crying. Her boyfriend's there with her, and they're trying to get a hold of 911. They get through. And they get on there and they said 911 gets on. I hear them on. She's on speaker and they go, yeah, my dad's having a heart attack. We need you here. And they said, where are you at? With that, her phone goes dead.
Oh my God.
It shuts off because of the signal. The white out was snowing so hard. So now she's crying. She's trying to call back. I'm panicking now.
Right. So the pain was just here, not
no, it was
chest.
here, right there. That while she's calling, this subsides and goes away. Then I'm like, oh great, it's over. I feel fine now. So she's trying to call 911. We don't know if she got through. She's trying to call again and again and again. It's not going through. It's not going through. Because Dad, she's screaming. I don't know what to do. Right. So my son-in-law says, I'm going to take you any minute and put you in my car and drive you to the hospital. And I said, no, I'm just going to sit here. With that, John, I felt like someone took 2 blow torches right to my chest.
God.
And it was burning so bad. I just doubled over like this and just held my chest. And as fast as that came, it went away. It burnt so bad, like I was being burnt, that it just dissipated. And then I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm sitting there saying, do I get up or don't move? So I didn't get up. I stayed there. And then we heard, it was 26 minutes later, my daughter, because we looked at their cell phone when she called, they found us. They got the GPS. Right. We hear them pulling to the development. So my daughter runs out there and gets them over there.
So they traced the call.
They traced the call. Okay. And they found us. When they got there, they came in. They said, "Can you get up?" You know, they put you up with all these leads on you and everything else. They said, "Can you get up?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." I felt fine then. You know, it was over. And I went to get up, and they said, no, sit back down, sit back down. So I knew they saw something on that machine. Right. So they called a stretcher, and they put me in a stretcher. They got me out off the deck into the ambulance, and my daughter says, where are you taking them? And they said, you going to Wayne or Bon Secours? They said, no, they can't help them. We got to take them to Scranton. Now, Scranton's a 55-minute ride.
Oh, my God.
Almost an hour. Now, imagine you got 5 inches of snow. It's blizzard conditions. Right. The roads aren't plowed, so it's going to be a longer ride. You know it in your head.
Right.
So we get in the ambulance, and she says to him, you know, about where we're going to go. And he says, you riding with us or not? And she says, I'm riding with you. So now my daughter's in the ambulance, which I really didn't want. We pull out, we get right out to the road at the end of my driveway, and I see the paramedic look at me. He's pitch white in the face.
Oh, boy.
And he goes, Steve, open your mouth. I opened my mouth, and he shot me, which was nitroglycerin. Now, what they don't know with nitroglycerin is if you have any blood clots in your heart, those blood clots now will travel because nitroglycerin opens your heart. So when that opens the valve, so when that happens, it makes your heart open up, so anything that's blocked, it can flow. So the blood clots that were in my system flew right into the clog in my heart, which made it even worse, which made me die right there in the spot. Now, when you die, you feel like you're going to pass. You ever stand up fast and you get that lightheadedness, you're going to pass out?
Right.
Like, whoa. Imagine that, laying down, and you can't stop it, and you pass out.
Wow.
When your heart stops, your brain stops. And
could you hear what was going on?
I hear everything
in
for
the
about
ambulance?
2 seconds.
Okay.
After I felt that coming up. As soon as it hit here, and I knew it was going out, I didn't hear nothing. So that's what happened. That's the first time I passed out. When I passed out,
so everything goes black?
Well, it didn't actually go black.
Okay.
I saw that big bright light everyone's talking about. You know, so people say when they die, I see a bright light.
Right, the light at the end of the tunnel.
That bright light is your soul leaving your body, and that's what you're seeing, because we're all energy. Your body's
so your eyes are seeing.
You're not.
What is your soul or your consciousness?
I think your consciousness is seeing, not your eyes. I don't think that's even working anymore.
Okay.
When you shut down, everything shuts down. So I think that ball or round circle of light that you see is actually you leaving your body. And that's what people are seeing all the time. They're mistaking it for this big bright light of God. No, that's you. You're seeing.
So you think that's where orbs, the theories of orbs come from, because that is
the energy. Your energy.
Your energy.
Your body's 99% water. Right. All right? So you're a conductor of energy. So when you leave your body, that's what happens.
Right.
So that's what happened when I saw that light. All of a sudden, I saw a photograph book. It's like a photograph book. If you flip through the pages and you have different pictures in your photograph book, right? So it was flipping. It was showing back as far as I can remember as a kid.
Wow.
So I can remember probably about when I was like 8, 9 years old, it was bringing me to. And I can see the bicycles I had, the mopeds I had, the go-karts, you know, dogs I owned, trips I went on, and was going faster and faster. The reason why I think it was going faster and faster to where I couldn't see it no more was because they were shocking me back.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You said you were shocked a total of...
I'll tell you, I will get to that. I was shocked the first time in the ambulance, and when they brought me back, I was flipping like a fish.
Right.
And they go, whoa, whoa, 2 paramedics are holding me down. They go, I hear my daughter screaming up front because now I'm back. I'm alert now. And they're saying, whoa, 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 we just brought you back. And I said, why did you bring me out of my dream?
Wow.
Because I was watching that photograph then.
Right.
And they're like, what? So the freakiest thing is when I'm looking out the back of an ambulance now and I'm seeing exits. Now I realize how far yet I still am from the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And I just died. So you know you just died.
Right.
And now you can realize I just died. It's going through your brain. I just died. With that, here it comes again. That feeling over my head. Now I'm telling them I'm going to die. And they go, we're ready. And when they said they're ready, next thing you know, I'm back awake. How long they were shocking me, I have no clue on that. Next time we were up and we're getting close to Scranton, I said, oh God, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it.
Right.
And I see the exit for Scranton. They were 84 and 81 split. And I die again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just before I get there. I feel that pressure coming up, and I pass out again. Next thing you know, I'm waking up, and I can see the ER sign on the hospital. And I'm like, I made it. I made it. And I see my car actually drive up alongside us, because my son-in-law was driving my car. Great commercial for Subaru, by the way. It's going through a blizzard. But we get in there, and when they wheeled me in, Dr. Greenspan came up to me. He's the ER doctor. And he said, Steve, I'm Dr. Greenspan. He goes, I'm the ER doctor here. He goes, I'm going to be one watching over you. I said, just don't let me die.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to die in my watch. And there's a reason why I'm telling you this. So as soon as he said that to me, I died.
Oh
I died right in front of them.
Okay.
They started shocking me there. They shocked me back. And then I wake up and I see scissors going, cut my shirt off.
Right.
And the girl goes, I'm going to cath you next. And I died again.
Wow.
So the whole total of time of dying was 3 times in the ambulance. And by the time I got into the cath room and they found my clog, which I had the Widowmaker with 2 blood clots sitting on top of it.
What is the percentage of
There's
people?
They told my daughters in the hallway before I went up, and they gave me my last rites in the hallway.
Wow.
That I was not going to make it. And now here's Pam driving up from Gettysburg in a PT Cruiser in this blizzard, trying to get there, not knowing when she gets there if I'm going to be alive when she got there.
So let's jump ahead to where we've talked about this before, about what you experienced where you felt like you did go somewhere and you did feel...
Well, that's what I was getting to. Right there in the hallway, when they wheeled me out and they cut my shirt off, they started wheeling me down the hallway, and that's when I actually physically left my body.
Right.
I didn't see myself leave my body, but I woke up in this square area. When I got in this square area, it's all gray.
Right.
To me, I guess it would be square because everything's top, bottom, around you is totally gray. If you took a green screen and put it totally around you, on your feet, around the top, that's what it looked like, but gray.
Right.
Right. So no matter what direction, you have no sense of direction, no sense of time.
And no pain.
No pain, love feeling, warmth feeling that you've never felt before.
Wow.
You know your name, but this never existed.
Right.
The world, Earth, is not in your head. Earth doesn't exist.
Wow.
All your family, your members, you know, that you've been around, your dogs, never existed. So imagine if I took your memory and just erased it totally.
So you're just the energy now.
You just know who you are. You just know your name is John. That's it. That's all you know. You don't know your
Was there
last name.
anybody else there with you in this area?
There was no one. What happened, though, these little watery figures started running past me.
Okay.
And if you ever saw the movie Abyss, at the end,
I know what you're talking about. Right.
So they're running past me like this, and I'm trying to grab them because it's the only thing, you know, who are they? And I said, who are you? And they giggled, and in a tone voice of a male and a female voice put together, like if you and a female were talking at the same time, saying, that's what it sounded like, so you can tell it was male or female. They said, we're not allowed to talk to you. And I'm like, really? You know? So I gave up on them, and now remember, you have no sense of direction. So the only thing I can think of with my body to do is to turn like 180 degrees and go that direction. So I did that. I just looked at my feet and I turned. Now, when you looked at your feet and you walked, it would ripple out like you skimmed a stone.
Right.
And you get those ripples.
Right.
But as soon as you stopped, it went whoop, right back to your foot that fast.
Wow.
Yeah, and you take a step and you ripple out. It's like you're walking on water. That's what it looked like. But there's no water.
We've got a lot to get to in a short time.
Yes.
So, did you ever come across anyone who was an angel, who was
Yes.
somebody who was,
When I was
that you actually spoke to?
Yep. When I walked in that other direction, I came to all these angel wings. Now, it's not just the angels. It's not the whole body angels, it's just the wings.
Okay.
They're all different sizes, big, small, medium, all around you. And I sat there and I tried touching them, and they're like touching me. They moved away from me. So I stood there for a while, and then all of a sudden this figure came at me. It was sort of like a cat's eye, but long ways. And it opened up, and there was a tall figure there, standing there. And it looked at me, and I couldn't see his face, but I can tell it stared at me, and it said to me a message. It says, "I come to you because you believe in me. You're a part of me, my kingdom. Let them know I'm with each and every one of you. My love never dies. Now go." And now think about it. You're in a gray matter of space. Where do you go? So the only thing I think I can do is turn my back to that subject
Right.
and walk forward. And when I did that, I was back in my body.
Wow.
In the cath lab, and I see a pink mask and a blue mask, and I hear them talking, but I can't hear them. Next thing I know, I'm back up in that gray space again. And I'm like, what am I doing here again? And I hear a voice say, "I told you to go."
Wow, such
And
a
I'm
back
like,
again.
I'm saying to myself, I have
Yeah.
to come back. Next thing I know, I'm back in my body. Now I can hear the doctors talking. And they're saying, "Steve, if you can hear us, give us a sign."
Right.
I gave him 2 thumbs up. So, make a story a little shorter, I ended up in ICU, to our TV crew in there with cameras on me. I don't know how they got in there. Everyone's talking. They moved me from there, which I thought was in there for 1 day. I ended up being there 5 days. They bring me to my regular room. I get into my regular room. Now all the surgeons are coming to see me.
They all want to know
They're
what
all-
happened.
Yeah, they're saying you're
While
a
you were
miracle.
dead.
You're a miracle. You shouldn't be here.
Right.
You're without oxygen for 7 minutes.
Wow.
So you should have brain damage. You don't have no brain damage. You only had 2% heart damage. Of having 2 clots in the widowmaker. You should
Wow.
have major damage with all the shocking. I ended up being shocked 53 times.
Oh my God.
3 times in the ambulance and 50 times in the hospital. And it's a record. They have to keep record at Gettysburg. So it's up in Geysinger's record.
So you've got that rare perspective, and that message you tattooed.
No, I don't
you
have
didn't have
tattooed.
it, but you said that.
I have tattoo. I do have a 53 that was put on
When
the
it
arm for
happened.
how many times I was shocked. I got to change it now because when I went to eat fib last time, I had to shock my heart back. So it's actually 54 now.
But you went through that, so now you have such a unique perspective of being someone who was involved in the paranormal field, who actually passed and had that experience. And you told me, we talked about this before, you don't fear death.
No, I don't fear death no more. I'll tell you one thing: when you go up there, you're judged.
Okay.
I was being judged. You can feel when you're up
So
there.
you felt you were sort of an in-between area,
I was
way
in-
station,
yeah.
where it was either going to be
Either I'm gonna, exactly. Way station would be perfect.
Right.
Either you're gonna go back or go forward,
Or
or,
go up.
actually you're gonna go up or down. One or two. And I know I'm going up if I die again. So
But we
I'm not-
talked about this. You do believe there is,
Oh, there's an afterlife.
or a hell. You do believe there's a good.
there's a heaven. There's
and
got to
a-
be a hell. Yeah.
Okay.
There's got to be.
That's so amazing.
I
Again,
felt no match though.
for
or later.
not this time anyway.
No, it isn't.
But I met you years ago, and you're a totally different person than you are now. When I met you in your store, the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange, person I met years ago was different. You're so much more welcoming. You're so much more accepting of people. You told me you're making amends. You don't want to hold old grudges.
Life's too short. And the field we're in, the paranormal field, there's a lot of people arguing.
Right. A lot of drama.
A lot of drama. It needs to end.
Right.
It needs to end. And the best way to do it is, if you keep dragging on, what are you getting out of it? Every
Right.
time you drag it, why not make amends with someone and try making our field better? Why are you sitting there arguing all the time? And that's what I learned out of this whole thing. Make life better. Enjoy it.
But you really don't fear.
Life's too short.
But you really don't fear death. I mean, that must be such a great feeling to know what that feels like after. Because I, like you said, 50 years old, I'm 50 in a few months. I fear it.
And I
Trust me, I fear
scared
it.
of the hard
No, but I do fear it. But again, your message is so great. I encourage everyone to go to Gettysburg. Gettysburg Ghost Exchange is, what's the address?
It's 1015 Baltimore Pike.
And you have all ghost hunting paranormal equipment that you could purchase. You also do a lot of ghost hunting paranormal events
Yeah.
that you take people out, you educate them, you take them into haunted places, let them experience it. You also do a lot of fundraisers. The big one is coming up, but you're doing that every year for the Wounded Warriors.
Yeah, paying Wounded Warriors.
Okay, is there a website for that where they could just go to your
They
website?
can go to the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange site. They can go to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash site, which we post every year. It's called the same thing every year.
Okay.
We also have the Hallowed Ground tours. We're the only one in Gettysburg with a limousine that takes you around Gettysburg and shows you the forgotten path, we call it, where people don't know of places in Gettysburg that are actually there that they never seen. Like, do you know where the Bloody Brickyard is?
No.
I'll show you next
Yeah,
time.
I've been to Gettysburg many times, you know that. And again, I met you years ago, but when I went into your store and I talked to you this time, for someone who's in the field, but even if you're not in the field and you're just interested in the paranormal, to go to your store, to be able to talk to someone like you who has such knowledge of the equipment, knowledge now of the afterlife, which is, again, so rare. You've been there,
Right.
You've experienced it. It's definitely a place that I'm going to go every time I visit Gettysburg. So you said that you couldn't, there's no family there. Do you feel like everybody meets again, or you think that the energy just recycles in the afterlife? I mean,
when I was up there,
they didn't even give you a clue.
No, I think after I got back, Pam actually came to me and says, I think your mother was there.
Really?
And I said, why? She showed me a picture, and my mother's, of me, not me, my daughter and my mother, and my mother's wearing the Abyss sweatshirt. It says the Abyss across it.
Oh.
Those watery
Those
figures
creatures, so maybe it was
my
a sign.
Mother.
So, okay, again,
It's probably my mother. And Pam put that together, and I didn't even think of that. And that was my mother is probably there.
But it does give, again, some feeling to me that, again, the fear is less than it was than I had before. I talked to another person who passed, and he described the same type of thing, a tranquil feeling, a feeling of ease, of no pain. And
you know what the funny thing is? The word death is not there.
Really?
There's no such thing as death.
Wow.
There's only death here. There's no death up there.
Okay.
So death doesn't, when you die and you're up there, you don't say to yourself, I just died. You don't know you died because it didn't exist.
Right.
This is like this isn't even a memory. It never happened.
That's so strange.
That's what's weird about it. This whole thing, like talking to you right now, never happened. Never happened when you were up there.
Definitely an interesting story. I recommend that you go to his website.
Like I told you before when we spoke, time.
The watch.
I look at my watch. There's a band, but there's no face to it. I see my skin. So there's no time. They don't want you. You just relax.
Wow. Okay.
That's what they want you to do.
I'll get there one day, I hope, and be in that judgment area and move on. And
you'll love it. I'm telling you right now. I don't want. The reason why I think we're not told, if everyone felt it,
right.
I think we have a higher suicide rate.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Well, Steve, great having you here. I appreciate you coming so much. Again, Gettysburg Ghost Exchange. Go to Gettysburg, check out the store, visit the website, go on any of his events. He's got the experience. He knows so much about the paranormal. Thanks again, Steve, for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching this episode of New Jersey Paranormal. We'll see you next time.